that's why you see smoke rings like that when I cook. Now, if I set it out and let it go up to room temperature, 70 degrees, I've just cut that time down. I'm probably gonna lose about probably half of that smoke ring right there. But excellent question. I put it on as cold as possible. And what we've done is my buddy Rob, and Tom knows Rob, from Ace of Hearts, we had a class and he threw a brisket in that was frozen. Took us 2 days to cook it. But we ended up having a smoke ring about that deep through it.
And the smoke ring is just for visual appeal, or is it?
Absolutely, no. It is for visual appeal too. And I'll give you a quick example. I was in North Carolina cooking, and they saw smoke ring, and they said, well, it's raw. And I said, well, how can it cook that way instead of that way? And of course, he said, well, he told me, he goes, boy, it's raw. And I go, boy, you don't know what you're talking about. But what it is it's for visual, but it's also for taste. We want a smoked taste, but we don't want that smoke to dominate, okay? So many people think of smoked meats as something that when you put it in your mouth, it's bitter. That's not what we want. We're building these processes that I'm teaching you today, these techniques that I'm teaching you today. We're building a process to make it a flavor profile. So again, you're tasting that smoke. And I can tell the different kinds of woods. And what we're going to do is, we're going to get into the woods here after we talk about this, basically our foundation of charcoals and woods. So important on our woods to know what you're doing when you're cooking and smoking with woods. The biggest mistake I see is, you know what, I'm throwing a half pound of mesquite on there. I'm throwing a bunch of green hickory, because man, I want it to taste smoky. Oh my God, it will, and it'll be bitter. That's the biggest mistake most people make, is they bitter it up. Then the next thing you know, the wife doesn't like it, the mother-in-law doesn't like it. Here goes the smoker into the back of the garage, and they'll never use it again. Okay? So these techniques that I'm teaching you today are going to teach you that flavor profile. Okay? So that is what we're going to look for. Anatomy of a baby back. Will our spare rib look pretty close to that? Absolutely. But what we want to do, that is going to be your homework, to get your ribs to look like that. Okay? So Tom, you have to bring them in next week.
Yeah.